Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is the National Intel Report. I'm your host, John Statmiller, and if it's Tuesday, which I do believe it is, the 5th of May, 2009, if it's Tuesday, special edition of the National Intel Report, when we invite Robert Chapman in of the International Forecaster, and also Mr. Noel, Robbie Noel, from the flip side on this network, also representing our gold and silver concern. And I'm concerned because not too many people are buying gold and silver anymore. At any rate, that would be Robbie Noel, his program, The Flip Side, on Monday through Friday from 6 to 7 p.m. Central Time. I was watching the markets today. I was also watching the House Finance Committee questioning Mr. Bernanke one more time. And him looking as if, he's got a good handle on a situation that doesn't have any recognizable handle. And Ron Paul seemed to be rather complacent today. Didn't really seem to be his usual fiery self with going after the Fed chairman. We need to end his job as well as what he represents, and that being the Federal Reserve. But that is another matter. All right, let me bring up Mr. Robert Chapman. We're having a few, we don't have him. He hasn't called you yet. Well, let's bring up Robbie Noel. Robbie, I've got.
Yeah, you got me.
How you doing?
Can't complain for a Tuesday.
Better a sharp stick in the eye, and it could be Wednesday already.
There you go.
Were you watching Uncle Ben this morning, Robbie?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's real tough, hardball questions that were going over to him, wasn't there?
Well, I think Ron Paul was mainly interested in putting a question to him dealing with the transparency of the Fed and, obviously bringing up the question of the Fed being audited, which obviously Mr. Bernanke bounced all around that question. So, it was more a case of seeing how the ground lay as far as the Federal Reserve's take on being audited would go. And as Bernanke was good at obfuscation, said that they do have transparency. Although I wish, you can't really do anything. You got 5 minutes to answer a question, and there are no follow-ups. And obviously the follow-up would have been, well, how do you explain not allowing freedom of information requests that were put through by Bloomberg News? So, but anyway, Bernanke said what you would expect him to say, that the economy is hurt, but it's going to get better before the end of the year, and everything is fine. And I will have the ability to pull the punch bowl away when the time is right.
The poison Kool-Aid. All right,
yes,
we'll see if we can hook up here with Mr. Chapman during the break. We don't have him yet. It's a chapless day today so far. All right, we'll take the break here. John Statman and Robbie Noel, at least for right now. We'll be right back.
Get ready for Real Talk Radio. You're listening to the National Intel Report with your host, John Statmiller.
Oh, you would think in the 21st century, folks, phone problems would be a thing of the past. But not so.
You should know better than that.
I'm looking at the Ayn Rand Atlas Shrugged scenario here, Robbie. The windows have got cracks in them.
Yes.
The garbage is not being picked up anymore. Bob Chapman, do I have you?
You have me, my son.
Ooh, tell you what, keep talking a little bit. We'll try to power you down.
Power me down.
There we go.
Power me down.
Okay, you sound a little funky, but you're readable. All right. Well, Bob, Same question I asked Robbie. Did you watch
Yes.
Did you watch Uncle Ben this morning?
No, I didn't. I was very busy. And what did he tell us? Everything is going to be okay again?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Everything's fine.
Did you know that he has a degree in prevarication?
Prevarication? I didn't know that they handed degrees out for that.
Well, he does, along with his economics degree.
All right. We may or may not be able to maintain contact with you, Bob. You're sounding like you're on the far end of the planet, talking to us.
Well, I spent a lot of time out in the far end of the planet.
All right.
Especially when I was younger.
What do you, you know what? I've been so doggone busy, Bob, I haven't even had a chance to even read your newsletter. And I apologize. Usually I go through this before the program.
Cardinal sin.
I'm telling you, man, you know, in a world of information, when I don't have time to sit down and read yours, shame on me.
Well, we've had hundreds of letters saying it's one of the best that was ever done.
Newsletter?
Mm-hmm.
Well, make me feel guilty now. All right. All right, what's hot topic then? What is it that you're looking at?
Well, I think the hot topic probably this past week has been the Chrysler situation, and I don't know whether you knew it or not, but they had me up on Fox News about 15 or 20 times. And actually I was on with G. Gordon Liddy as well.
When was this?
And, pardon me?
When was this?
Last week.
Okay.
But anyway, the battleground shifts every minute on this Chrysler GM, actually, situation. And what it amounts to is a group of hedge funds refused to make a deal. And everybody else was writing everything out, Cerebus and the four major banks, which are Morgan, Goldman, Citigroup, and I think Deutsche Bank, whoever it was. And they wrote off billions of dollars. Even Daimler wrote off. And Fiat wants to come in for 51%. But that's after our president offered the labor union 58%. And so I think that there's going to be a real battle there. I don't know what's going to come of it, but, you know, it's all really in the judge's hands. And Gonzalez, as a judge, did the Enron affair. And he's very good at it. And they want to get it done quickly, which would be 1 to 2 months. And I don't know whether he can do it or not, but, you know, he can really dictate from his position. I will say one thing about the Fiat deal. It will give Chrysler a better chance of survival. And Fiat has promised to produce the Chrysler vehicle to get better than 40 miles on the road, and some other patented innovations. And on the other hand, on Monday, yesterday, Fiat went out and said, look, we want to take over GM's Opel and their agencies in Europe. And so that creates an antitrust situation. And, of course, Fiat is a top black nobility aluminous firm in Europe. And it's been that way since its inception. And so that's what's going on here. And they want to use the Chrysler, quote, model to do GM. And I don't think that's going to work. I mean, it's just like potatoes and green beans. You know, one's potatoes and the other's green beans. And I don't think you can use a formula on these sorts of things. And I know that you know a lot about the automotive industry. And there could be some massive layoffs if they don't come to terms.
Well, Chrysler and Fiat do have one thing in common. They both produce crappy cars that nobody wants.
Well, and I was just wondering, Bob, where is Fiat getting all these funds that they can go in and help an ailing U.S. automaker that doesn't have a top 10 vehicle in this country They certainly are just straddled with all sorts of debt, now over capacity. You know, I mean, this is a marriage made in what? You know,
Hell.
Yeah, no kidding.
And incidentally, these companies, now, a lot of people say they should have been saved because they saved the banks and the brokerage houses and the insurance companies. And those people are right in saying that. But my position is the banks, Wall Street, and the insurance companies should have never been failed. They should have saved. They should have been allowed to go under. And the same thing with any other company, they can't hack it.